What if I told you that Johnny Depp once stepped off the big screen and into real life to make a little girl's dream come true? A 10-year-old pirate princess battling a rare illness got the surprise of a lifetime when Captain Jack Sparrow himself showed up at her front door. But what happened next will leave you speechless. Johnny Depp and the 10-year-old pirate princess. Johnny Depp had met thousands of fans in his lifetime. Adults who admired his work, children who adored Captain Jack Sparrow, and dedicated followers who had grown up watching him on the big screen. But none of them quite compared to the 10-year-old pirate princess. Her name was Sophie Carter, and she was no ordinary girl. Born with a rare genetic condition that had kept her in and out of hospitals for most of her young life, Sophie had found solace in the world of pirates. She had seen Pirates of the Caribbean so many times that she could recite entire scenes by heart. To her, Captain Jack Sparrow wasn't just a character. He was a symbol of resilience, mischief, and freedom. Everything she longed for. Her biggest dream? To meet Johnny Depp, not as himself, but as Captain Jack Sparrow. Sophie's mother, Claire, had spent years watching her daughter fight battles no child should have to face. She saw how Sophie's spirit lifted whenever she watched those movies, how she grinned, even in hospital beds, pretending she was sailing the high seas instead of hooked up to IV drips. So Claire took a chance. She wrote a heartfelt letter to Johnny Depp's team, explaining Sophie's love for Captain Jack, her unwavering spirit, and her one wish. Most people would assume letters like this got lost in the chaos of Hollywood, but Johnny Depp wasn't most people. When the letter reached him, he didn't hesitate. He had made unannounced visits to children's hospitals before, always slipping into his pirate persona to bring joy where it was needed most. But this time, he wanted to do something more personal. Sophie was having a tough week. A recent treatment had left her exhausted, and she had spent most of the day resting at home. She had no idea that her life was about to change in the most extraordinary way. A knock at the door made Claire pause. She wasn't expecting anyone. When she opened it, she found a tall, familiar figure standing before her. Dressed in a weathered pirate coat, dreadlocks hanging from beneath a tricorn hat, a mischievous smirk on his face. "Ahoy there, Miss Sophie," he called out, his voice slurred in that unmistakable Captain Jack way. "I hear ye be needin' a first mate." For a moment, there was only silence. Then, from the couch, Sophie's head snapped up. Her eyes widened in shock, her mouth slightly open, as if her brain couldn't quite process what she was seeing. It was him. Not Johnny Depp the actor, not a lookalike, not someone doing an impression. It was Captain Jack Sparrow, standing in her living room. Sophie's disbelief quickly turned into sheer joy. She squealed, scrambled up from her seat, and launched herself at Johnny, wrapping her small arms around him. He chuckled, gently patting her back before stepping into character again. "Now what be this?" he said, looking her over. "You don't look like a scallywag, but I suppose even a proper lady can have a pirate's heart." Sophie giggled, her excitement bubbling over. "I'm a pirate princess," she declared, hands on her hips. Johnny, Jack, tilted his head. "A princess, you say? Well, that explains the regal air. But every good pirate needs a ship. Shall we set sail?" With that, the adventure began. For the next few hours, Johnny and Sophie transformed her house into a pirate ship. Couch cushions became treasure islands. The backyard was the open sea, and her wheelchair, on tougher days, became the captain's throne. Johnny never broke character, and Sophie never stopped laughing. He taught her how to swagger like a pirate, how to deliver a proper "arr," and how to negotiate a fair deal for stolen treasure, which, in this case, meant chocolate coins from the kitchen. They created an entire storyline: a lost treasure, a daring escape from imaginary naval officers, and a final victory feast of Sophie's favorite snacks. Claire stood to the side, filming everything with tears in her eyes. For the first time in a long while, Sophie wasn't a sick child. She was a fearless pirate, commanding the seas alongside the legendary Captain Jack Sparrow. As the afternoon wore on, Johnny finally settled down next to Sophie, exhaustion creeping in for both of them. "Well, Princess Sophie," he said, his voice softer now, "ye be one of the bravest pirates I ever sailed with." Sophie beamed. "Do you have to go?" Johnny's expression turned thoughtful. "Even pirates need to rest," he admitted. "But tell you what, you keep being strong, and I'll make sure you get another adventure." Her eyes lit up. "Promise?" He held up a pinky. "Pirate's honor." She linked her tiny finger with his, sealing the deal. The visit became one of Sophie's most treasured memories. As her health battles continued, she clung to that day like a lifeline. It wasn't just about meeting a famous actor. It was about feeling alive, about escaping reality for a little while, about believing in something magical, even in a world without actual magic. Johnny Depp stayed in touch with Sophie's family, sending videos and little messages in character to keep her spirits up. He never sought publicity for it, never turned it into a headline. To him, it wasn't about fame. It was about making a little girl happy. Years later, as Sophie grew older and stronger, she carried that pirate spirit with her. She became an advocate for children with chronic illnesses, using her story to inspire others. And when she told the tale of the day she sailed with Captain Jack Sparrow, she never forgot the lesson he left her with. A true pirate never gives up, and neither would she. Now, here's where you come in. If this story touched your heart, imagine how many other people need to hear it. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs a little magic in their life. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible true stories that restore your faith in humanity. Because sometimes, the most unexpected heroes create the greatest adventures.